Am I the a-hole for uninviting my sister to my wedding for what she said to my fiancé? I'm a 27-year-old male. My fiancé, 25 female, has an obvious permanent burn scar from an accident that caused her mother, her only parent, to pass away from injury. My fiancé had a long recovery and it's been 7 years. The scar is on her collarbone. It goes down her chest, but it isn't showing, unless she's wearing a scoop or a square top. She often wears hoodies or jackets just to cover it up. She puts this cream, I don't know what ladies call it, but it's supposed to tone skin color or something. I'm not sure, but my fiancé calls it foundation that is 1 degree brighter than her skin color. I absolutely adore her. She's pretty, smart, ambitious, and the list goes on. What happened was unfortunate, and I'm glad she's at peace with herself and more confident. My family loves her. How could they not? She's a member of the family, and my mom makes sure she takes part in every family function and things like shopping and decorating other stuff. However, my sister made comments about my fiancé's scar several times. I've called her out on her behavior several times to get her to stop, because she was hurting me before my fiancé with her backhanded and insensitive comments. I told my fiancé she had every right to cut my sister out and not deal with her bully crap, but she has been forgiving and respectful of my entire family. Our wedding is in February. My fiancé went shopping for the wedding dress. This is where the issue started. My fiancé showed the wedding dress to my sister. I didn't see it, but I was told it was a spaghetti strap dress. My fiancé likes this stuff. Anyways, my sister saw it and went nuts. She started criticizing her choice and said that she should have gotten a high neck or a jewel wedding dress to cover up the scar. She argued with my fiancé about it. I went to my family's house and I confronted her. I yelled at her, and after she told me my fiancé needed to return the dress and get a proper one, so the guest won't focus on her scar, and use it as the topic of conversation and gossip. I told her, "You're not invited to the wedding." She is not welcome to my wedding with this entitled attitude of hers, and her insensitivity and disrespect. We argued for about half an hour, then I left. In exactly an hour, my mom and dad called and berated me, saying my sister was crying after I uninvited her, and that I had no right to uninvite her. She's my sister and was just trying to help out, and given advice on how to avoid any unnecessary drama. My mom said my fiancé can keep the dress but suggested to wear a bridal shawl as a neutral solution. I just stopped responding to my mom's calls and text messages after that. Family members were upset my sister was uninvited and did want me to invite her again, because this will make family look bad in front of outsiders and guests. It seems the overwhelming majority of people chose not the a-hole for this story. I have to agree. In regards to the dress, there was one comment I came across and I'd like to read it. Exactly. Don't know why the fiancé should compromise on her wedding dress. If the mom wants to go to the wedding, she should smile and keep quiet. Keep her dang mouth shut. And the sister should apologize and then smile and keep her mouth shut. Guys, what do you think of that comment? Drop your thoughts down in the comment section below. Our next story that we're going to look at is a Would I Be the A-hole story. Would I be the a-hole for making my kid give a gift she really wants for her birthday to the person she stole from? If you're new to the channel, subscribe as there's daily videos, and let's get right into story number 2. My daughter turns 11 in 6 weeks. She has been begging for a Nintendo Switch. Due to poor grades and overall bad attitude, we decided not to get a Switch. Money isn't the issue, it's her behavior. She acts very entitled and she's lying left and right. I just don't feel now's the right time for the switch. The theft. On Easter, we, my husband, our kids, and myself, are at my husband, aunt, and uncle's house. Aunt and uncle have 2 adult children, one of whom is mentally delayed. We'll call her cousin. She functions at about a 10-year-old level but's in her 40s. She lives in an assisted living apartment and has a job where she gets paid $5 a week. So she doesn't get many upscale things unless they're a gift. Well, cousin had an old Game Boy that she saved up to buy and was playing while we were there. She eventually set it down and moved on to playing a board game with us while the kids ran around playing. Well, this is where it goes to a hell in a handbag. My kid decided to be an epic turd and took the Game Boy. She snuck it out of Aunt and Uncle's by asking if she could go to our car to look for a book she had brought. And then she stashed it in the glove box. She proceeded to hide the fact that she had the Game Boy for several days, even after being asked where she last saw it. Her opening to come clean, and when Aunt and Uncle called asking if we've seen where cousin might have left it. Due to cousin's challenges, she was utterly distraught over her missing Game Boy. It's one of those few forms of entertainment that she has, and she worked hard to have it. I'm disappointed about the thievery, but I'm even more upset over my kid's attitude about being caught. I only found out about it because her sister ratted her out. Even then, she absolutely refused to tell me the truth and tried to pin it on her sisters. It wasn't until I sat there and thought about it that I knew she was lying to me. Once I told her I knew it had to be her because XYZ did, she finally confessed. Her behavior only got worse from there, and she refused to apologize when uncle and cousin came by to get the Game Boy, and had the balls to act like she was the one being wronged. I feel like I need to drop the hammer on her and send a message home that stealing is not okay. I think that purchasing the Switch, with my daughter's help from the money she would quote earn by doing extra chores, and having her give it to cousin might be a good way to deliver that message while simultaneously giving cousin a nice upgrade, to make amends. I mentioned this to a friend and they said this would be a jerk move, because birthday? I don't really think that matters, but the comment was enough to make me question myself. What do you guys think? I think what OP did in this story was a great idea to teach her daughter a lesson. I would like to read kind of an argument that took place in the comment section. Here it goes. Not the a-hole. I personally think this could be a good learning curve. Plus, think of how happy it would make the cousin. I actually think it's a really good idea. And here's where comment 2 says, isn't it also possible that ruining her birthday might make her behave worse? Well, here's what the person had to reply. She made that choice. It was her that ruined her own birthday. I think initially, yeah, she might be a bit pissed off, but it should teach her that she should not feel entitled to her own things, especially when they don't belong to her. I think getting her a Switch now would just be rewarding bad behavior. So guys, let me know what you agree, that comment or the comment that said, isn't it possible that ruining her birthday might make her behavior worse? Drop your thoughts down below on that one, and I have one more story for you that does come complete with an update. Am I the a-hole for refusing to stop seeing my daughter over her sister? This one is super crazy, guys. Let's get right into it. I'm a 56-year-old female, and my husband Kurt is 59. We have 2 daughters, Ruth, 32, and June, 30. 8 years ago, Ruth split up with her college boyfriend, Adam, who's 32. They've been together since she was 20, and it was as serious as a college relationship could ever be. About 5 years ago, June announced that she reconnected with Adam at some alumni get-together. They'd all gone to the same uni, and that they were now dating. Of course, Kurt and I were shocked. She would do this despite her sister's history with him. But she insisted that they were in love and she can't help that, and that Ruth and Adam have not been together in years, so she hasn't done anything wrong. Ruth, understandably, was enraged over it. She said she was done with June and would never see her again. This broke me. They were so close growing up, and I prayed every day that they would reconcile. But I accepted they're adults who can make their own choices, and we have no say. Kurt and I were also very disappointed with June, and told her off many times. But after she proved that there was never any cheating involved while Ruth and Adam were together, things between us did settle down. Out of respect for Ruth's feelings, we never brought the girls together again. Ruth and June visit us separately and still aren't on speaking terms after 5 years. But we maintained our relationship. Now, June and Adam are married. Ruth has also moved on with a lovely boy. Coincidentally, both girls are expecting their first child. Ruth's due date is a little earlier. I can't put into words how excited we are to be grandparents and adore both these children. I've been supportive and as involved with both our daughters' pregnancies as they want. However, last week, Ruth drops a bomb on us. She said that if we ever see June again or her baby, she won't allow her child in our life. This shattered me. It's kept me up every single night. The thought of either of my grandchildren being deprived of loving grandparents is agonizing. I know Ruth was deeply hurt by June's actions, but I don't know if we should be punished just for not cutting our kid off. How can any parent even consider disowning a child? We begged her to reconsider and said our love for both is unconditional, and we can't just stop loving one. But she is adamant. I don't want to accept Ruth's terms, as it seems like no matter what we decide, we're going to lose a daughter and a grandchild. So I'd rather it not happen because we outright chose it. But I also don't want Ruth to believe we just drop her in favor of June. Because again, the thought crushes me. Would I be the a-hole if I don't comply with Ruth's ultimatum? Hey guys, Mr. Reddito here. This is a complete update that's going to happen to this story, but first, we're going to look at some popular questions that were asked to OP in the comment section before we jump into the update. And don't forget, the best way to support the channel is just by pressing the subscribe button right now. Okay, question number 1. Why did Ruth and Adam split up? Ruth left Adam because it just wasn't working. He was immature and said and did things that irritated her. Mostly lots of minor things that added up. She said there was never any abuse nor cheating, but it was the right decision for herself. He was a nice enough boy, but he definitely had some growing up to do at the time. I did feel very badly for Ruth because she had invested a good few years into the relationship for someone so young. But agreed it was the right decision. Question 2. Did we ever support Ruth? Ruth stayed with us for a few months when it first happened. Not just because of this, there were other reasons too. And we were there for her and comforted her the whole time. Because she was so angry, we had asked June not to visit until, well, she left. We still talked to her and met a couple times in public places. We made it known that this hurt her sister, and we were disappointed and she did not even think of this. June understood and agreed with us supporting Ruth. She expressed sadness over losing her sister, but we clearly told her it was Ruth's decision to cut her off. Whether one thinks June did nothing wrong or not, it's untrue to say there was never any consequences for this. She's sad to this day and she's lost her sister, and knows she has to accept and live with it. Question 3. Did June ever apologize to Ruth? Both girls have confirmed that June reached out a few times over the years to apologize. No one put her up to it. Ruth did not forgive her and she's well within her rights not to. We understand no one can or should make her accept the apology. And the final question, why don't we just cut off Adam? Well, he's June's husband and the father of our second grandchild. They're a package deal now. Once we cut him off, we're risking losing June and our grandchild anyways, which is the same as what I'm trying to prevent with Ruth. And now we go into the update. We followed the advice and told Ruth that if she decided to go no contact, we would comply. But we could never willingly cut either of them off. We again begged her, begged her, to reconsider and reiterated that we were willing to go to family therapy, that we could all do this and we could keep her and June apart, anything that makes it work. She said she still wasn't happy June and her baby would stay in our lives, but she said she would think about it. Kurt and I also looked into opening an account for Ruth's child, but did not go through with it yet in hopes that things could turn around. Days went by, and we did not hear back from Ruth. It was agony. Then we got a call from June. She'd gotten wind of what was happening through a mutual family friend. She drove to Ruth herself, and no one put her up to this. She was prepared for Ruth to kick her out anyways. Once she was there, she apologized again and begged her not to do this. She said she could accept Ruth wanting nothing to do with her, but not to punish us because of it. Especially since they both knew that cutting us off would cost her child-loving grandparents. Shockingly, Ruth did not kick her out. She let her in and they both had a long tearful argument/fight. They even hugged a few times. I'm foggy on details, but I suspect pregnancy hormones played a huge role. I can't tell you how panicked I was hearing this story because it could have been so risky for them both. They haven't exactly made up, and Ruth did not forgive June, but she admitted to her that her husband, Owen, has actually been trying to convince her to go to couples counseling and individual therapy as well. Apparently, since Ruth's pregnancy, some troubling qualities that he was able to deal with previously were exacerbated. She was becoming controlling, paranoid, and he was pleading with her to get help, so they could be in a good place once the baby's born. June's visit was the final straw, and Ruth broke down and finally agreed. Ruth called us later. She corroborated June's story and accepted our therapy offer. She still has one condition. She wants Owen there if June has to attend any sessions, and she doesn't want Adam present at all. We all agreed, and the first session's in a few days. I can barely keep it together that I'll see both my babies in the same room for the first time in forever. It's been so stressful, but I can finally see some light. I haven't lost my daughters. Kurt and I are going to put everything into keeping our family together. I'm not going to be naive and assume everything will be fine now, but I am hopeful. I think this story was such a horrible position for OP to be in. In fact, it was super toxic. Let's take a look at a comment now. Not the a-hole. She's just making a final bid for control and using the baby as leverage. What happened to Ruth, sucks. But she should not be trying to take out her feelings on you guys, who sound like loving parents. Guys, that's exactly what I believe too. Tell her that you don't like the ultimatum and leave the door open should she change her mind. Let me know how you guys would approach this story if you were in the shoes of OP. Drop it down in the comment section and we'll all discuss it. I'm glad that you guys tuned in today. That's all the stories I have for you. So click the subscribe button so you never miss a future update. Have a wonderful day, and like always, Mr. Reddito will see you tomorrow.